Hello, my name is Pej. I'm an interventionist and a recovery coach that works with many different types of people that struggle with addiction, with alcoholism, and with mental health. Today, we're going to talk about relationships in recovery, relationships in early recovery, if you will, but just relationships in recovery as it goes. There are a lot of people that when they're attempting to get sober, they've had this relationship with alcohol or with drugs for a while, and that's their go-to, their everything, right? And so often it can be a love-hate relationship, especially for meth users, for cigarette smokers, for heroin, fentanyl users, for any type of drug. This is something that they depended on morning, noon, and night. All of their attention would be towards the drugs to make them feel good and happy, and often if they didn't have it, then they would get depressed, right? And they would need more of that. So that would kind of nurture the love that they had for the substance. So you take that away from people, and what happens? Like, often a lot of people will start seeking relationships with others, right? And so people that get in early recovery sometimes want to get their needs met, especially people that are younger, people that have more stamina. But that doesn't say like older people don't do it either, because I see it quite often. But now they don't have the drink or the drug, and they want to stimulate themselves in some way. They want to actually like make something feel good. They haven't really had the opportunity to be intimate with themselves, or if they're on a 12-step path, to be intimate with God, but they're just quickly grabbing for whatever they can get that's going to make them feel good. And I say it from experience. I've had to learn the hard way. There's often times when I did the work on myself, but because I didn't delve super deep, I would attract certain people that weren't healthy for me. I may have considered that I was evolved enough to where I could have had a healthy relationship, but why would I be like a magnet to people that were not healthy for me? And then I would have to learn the hard way, because I would hang out with these certain people, and in a sense there was some romance that was involved, but nothing good came out of it. There was a lot of tumultuous interactions and things like that. So now what I see a lot of times is when somebody is 30, 60 days, 90 days sober, they immediately want to get on dating apps and things like that and swipe right, and that's an addiction within itself. And sometimes they might start a conversation with somebody, they might meet with somebody, they might have some kind of sexual relations with them, they might become intimate, at least it feels like intimacy. They might take the person out on a date, but obviously if a person is unhealed and hasn't really done the deep-rooted work on themselves, then that could get their wheels spinning within their head, which can lead them on the path to depression, sadness, loneliness, self-pity. Often I hear the term, I was talking to this girl, I was swiping right, I actually saw her at a meeting, and then she ghosted me. Ghosting somebody means that they stop communicating with you, which can make a person really feel down on themselves and think like, what is wrong with me? She was just talking to me, he was just talking to me, why would he just leave me high and dry? And again, for an addict or an alcoholic that's new in recovery, that hasn't completely done the work and the self-examination to learn about themselves, this could actually sometimes lead someone back to a drink or a drug. We see it happen all the time. So my whole thing is as I often tell people, I implore you to really do the deep-rooted work that it takes to have a good relationship with yourself. What I really love seeing is when people kiss a lot of frogs, if you will, and they feel let down by any type of relationships that they attempted to have. Suddenly they say something like, you know what, tonight I'm taking myself out on a date. They'll go to the movies alone. They'll spend time with themselves. They'll go to the beach and sit by the beach alone. And they'll get to know themselves and be more comfortable with themselves. And they'll practice positive affirmations and everything that it takes to truly care and love yourself, rather than go back to quickly seeking validation or recognition from someone else. That's the problem, is a lot of people want other people's approval, or they want to seek validation or recognition from someone when that other someone might not even be evolved enough to be able to give you that type of intimacy and love that you are desiring. So be careful. Take care of yourself. Understand that you're important, but it's best to love yourself. And I don't mean in an egotistical fashion. I mean truly love your core, your essence, your being. so that you can attract somebody that's somewhat your equal or someone that's just as evolved as you, so you would be on the sober path together. One of the most beautiful things that I see and I experience now is being with someone, finding someone who has evolved. And if you're in recovery and they're in recovery too, and you're equally truly working your recovery program, you can come together and have this this loving, compassionate union amongst each other, which makes it more for a healthy relationship, as opposed to coming together and finding everything wrong with each other and pointing each other's character defects out and things like that. If you'd like to talk more about this, I'd love to have a conversation with you. You can always reach out to me at 310-596-9356. My name is Pej.